What's up guys, welcome to Veldora-kun. From our previous episode, we have witnessed the unexpected appearance of Goblin. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, I will put the link in the description below. Just a quick warning, these videos contain spoilers from the light novel. Also, don't forget to join our Discord community, Veldora-kun Subordinates. The link is in the description box. So now in this video we will review what happened next, which is the most awaited start of Founders Festival. But before we will proceed, please like, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Now without further ado, let's proceed with the video. After Rimuru thinking that Goblin should be influenced by Mire's leadership, Rimuru said, "That's exactly why you need to learn how to trust in your friends more. With that being said, this is not me forcing you to do something with your companions, but saying that you need to conserve a little bit of your strength and give them a hand during times of crisis." Goblin is speechless for the words and Rimuru added, "You are strong, everyone would agree to that. But strength alone is not enough for me to hand an entire army to you." As Goblin is frustrated, Rimuru took this chance to toss the healing potion at him, and its right arm started to regenerate immediately. Rimuru said, "Goblin, I want you to stay with Mire for a while. Whether you decide to train Bit and his men over there, or just chill around, either is fine. I doubt Molly needs anyone to guard him in town, so take a moment to reevaluate yourself a little, alright?" Rimuru assured him that Goblin should have also learned from his failures this time. He should just think about what he should do next time, and he'll find the answer. Rimuru smiled at him, took the katana off his belt, and presented it to him. Goblin couldn't believe what he was seeing. Rimuru said, "A gift for you." Goblin wants to reject thinking of his unfinished mission and Rimuru said to him, "Look, you got Mire here in one piece, right? I'll be expecting even bigger things from you now. So consider this sword to be a mirror that casts light over your heart so you may reflect on yourself every night." If Goblin could get over his arrogance and pride, they would be able to rely on him more than ever. Goblin said, "I understand. Your loyal servant Goblin shall live up to your majesty Rimuru's expectations." Goblin's eyes burned with passion. He always was a goblin of ambition and would quickly grow after setting goals. Rimuru was sure he'd live up to every bit of my expectations. After leaving Mire's estate, Rimuru lifted his head to gaze at the night sky. The assorted constellations up there were twinkling bright, although none looked like what he saw on Earth. The citizens of Tempest quickly welcomed Mire with open arms. Rimuru introduced him to his administration, and Rigard relayed word of him to the others, but really, it all went surprisingly smoothly. Mire handled his work flawlessly. Apart from running the new organization, he also utilized his own network to send out invitations to some influential figures. Time passed fast and the whole town was in a festive mood now, the streets alive with energy and enthusiasm. The construction plan of the Colosseum was proceeding without a hitch as well, in part due to Gobku's leadership skills. In addition, Murd, the youngest of the three dwarven brothers, was also back from his break and adding his own touches to my blueprints. Moreover, Mire's subordinates were attempting to set up stores using the hard-working citizens as their practice customers. This was going well too, generating business at a pretty decent clip. The underground labyrinth was handed over to Ramuru and Veldora. Now the various leaders of the Forest of Jura's monster races were assembling in town to celebrate Rimuru's new title. Their goal was to pledge loyalty to the Demon Lord and stand under my protection. But if they saw that the Demon Lord didn't have that kind of power, they'd no doubt bare their fangs at once and start rebelling. Staying by the side of a Demon Lord without power would not only do them no good, only a straight, downhill road to oblivion, and they knew it. As such, it was only natural to take the necessary actions to avoid such a reality. Until now Jura Great Forest had always been under the protection of Veldora. That made the forest an impregnable fortress, but now it was under the rule of a new Demon Lord. Moreover, this Demon Lord had just come to power, so it was still a mystery as to what central ideology he upheld. The representatives of the tribes felt unease, and this was the reason. Now, Rimuru was dressed in formal attire and placed on an altar to be worshipped. He is now in his slime form, and it made him feel like some kind of table decoration, a conversation piece laid out on a divine altar. Rimuru suggested just putting one of his replications up there, but everyone shot him down with a smile. They probably made the decision behind his back using telepathy net. They even prepared special slime clothes for this day. Not only that, but they also prepared several different types of outfits for each day. Benimaru and Shuna flanked my left and right sides, respectively. Behind Rimuru Arshion, Sae, and Gabble stood in lines. Rango was lurking in his shadow as always. Over to the right were the 100 members of the Goblin Riders led by Gobta. On the left lane were the 100 higher-ranked members of the Kurenai led by Gabua. The remaining 200 lower-ranked members were responsible for maintaining the security of the street. They were all more powerful than their normal security team, so Rimuru took this measure so they could quickly handle any weirdos who showed up during the event. Also, Shion's Yamagiri were patrolling undercover in disguise across the town, ready to address any flare-ups before they got out of control. Diablo and Hakuro, by the way, still weren't back from Falmouth. According to the ones that returned first, namely Gobta, Ranga, and Gabiru, they said they'd wrap everything up before the Founders Festival. They seemed to express regret at the fact that they wouldn't have a chance to see Rimuru in his majestic outfit. But they had Yaum's own coronation to handle over there. With it, the Falmouth Kingdom's name would also disappear and would be reborn as a new country. Even Diablo had been so busy that he rarely showed up lately. And Hakuro didn't have access to spatial motion, so Rimuru hadn't seen him at all lately. When the two return, Rimuru makes sure to reward them properly. Generally, the monster reactions were divided into three camps, namely worship, observation, and fear. Among the people who were observing Rimuru, some even seemed to look down on them. The new guys from the other side of the Great Ameld River were particularly notable on this front. It's not that big of a deal, and as long as Rimuru could show my strength, they would surely submit on the spot. But the real issue is on the monsters who feared Rimuru. The Rabbitman tribe were people from a certain weak tribe whose expressions filled with fear. Dealing with people who feared Rimuru was most difficult. Some were even panicking. The priority here should be to calm them down first. Some of them had trouble speaking because of nervousness. Thank you for inviting us here today. And Rigard interrupted, it's fine. I permit you to meet with our ruler, the great demon lord Ramuru-sama. Lift your head up. Yet the Rabbitman representative remained unresponsive. It didn't lift its head up. This darling little slime was simply too much of a threatening presence to look in the eye, not that it had eyes. Rimuru didn't intend to rule terror with these guys, so he hopes the misunderstanding can be resolved. He recalls that when the Federation was first formed, the Halflings and Kobolds were like this. When Rimuru allowed the Kobold tribe to travel and do business with them, they began trusting Rimuru's group. Kobe, their representative, and Rimuru were old war buddies by now, constantly sharing potential business leads with each other. For Rimuru, it didn't matter whether it was this Rabbitman tribe or other race, he would declare them all as equal under his rule. Rigard said to them, there is nothing to fear. Rimuru-sama is a man of leniency. He has said that all who are willing to pledge their loyalty shall be equal before him. Please, feel free to share a few words with him. After Rigard said that, the representative finally held his head up. He seemed quite young and had a handsome appearance, but dark circles hung under his eyes. He said, oh great demon lord Rimuru, please grant us Rabbitmen the permission to pledge our loyalty to you. Rimuru gave him a firm nod. It seemed to relieve the guy. Rigard repeated, I've told you just now, there is no need to be nervous, and the person responds, why yes sir. I've actually brought my daughter along, but she got so restless once we entered town, and by the time I realized it, I'd already lost track of her. To which Rimuru responds, hahaha, our town right now is alive and brimming with an atmosphere of festivity. I can imagine a young girl would let her curiosity get the best of her. The representative says, this is too embarrassing. I let her out of my sight for a single moment, and she runs away to who knows where. I was afraid that she would be an eyesore to your majesty Rimuru, so I had wanted to leave her behind in the village, but she kept begging me to bring her along. This leader must have been panicking about the disappearance of his daughter and causing some kind of ruckus in town. Rimuru somehow felt reassured to learn that he was not the source of his fear. He didn't want any weak tribes to be fearful of him anymore. Rimuru thinks to himself that he should meet the rabbitman lady with beauty. He then accidentally let out some of his genuine thoughts. Since she is so naturally curious, then she must be taking in all the trends and different things around here, isn't she? She seems to show promise in growing to be a reliable successor. The rabbitman representative looked deeply moved and replied, "Thank you for your gracious kindness. If I have the chance, I would be delighted to introduce my daughter Flamare to you." Afterwards, Rigard then briefed him on political matters a bit before the rabbitman tribe came to officially pledge allegiance to me. By the looks of it, this will show people that Rimuru is not such a scary guy. After being guided out, the next batch of visitors arrived. And that's it for my video. Thank you so much. See you on my next upload.